Good afternoon, everyone. I am Shreyanshi Patel, working as Assistant Professor in Computer Technology Department, Priyadarshini College of Engineering, Nagpur. Today, we discuss about the subject Database Management System. Why this subject? Why we are using Database Management System? Database management system mainly it is used in software development. Every company from whether it is a small or big one needs this system because to save the data, as there are very few people who are expert in this, and this can really help us in getting a job with high salary. And for that we have to know about the programming languages like C or C++, Java, and so on. A database management system is important because it manages data efficiently and allow the users to perform multiple tasks and to store the data, to organize the data, and to manage the large amount of information within a single software application. Database management is very useful. Next, we are going through the objective. Objective database management system is generally developed through programming languages, but its object is to give the benefit to the normal person. Every database management system should be made for achieving following objectives: to reduce duplicacy, to share the data, to bring integrity of data, and to secure the data, to bring independence in data. Right? Next, we are going to application of database management system in real world of work. Database management system is used in so many ways, like in railway reservation system, in banking, in library management system, in our colleges, in bank also, in social media sites, and everywhere database management system is used in online shopping, and in manufacturing part, in the railway airlines railway reservation system. So database management system is playing a very important role in each and every field. Next, we are going to the utility of the subset. Database system utilities are um, backup, file recognition, loading, performance monitoring, and so on. Next, we are going to the syllabus content. In first unit, there is an introduction that database system architecture. In database system architecture, it is divided into modules. There are user, query processor, storage processor, and disk storage. First of all, in user, there is a application interface, application program, sophisticated users, and database schema. And in query processor, there is a DDL compiler and DML pre-compiler. This will all compile the queries, and then next is a storage processor. In the storage processor, all the data will stored in database manager in file manager. Next, we are going through the disk storage. There are indices, data files, and data dictionary. Next, we are discuss about database applications, as we have discussed before only. All the database management system applications, as it is used in railway reservation system, and in universities, in bank, in airline reservation system, and so on. Next is data abstraction. What is data abstraction? Data abstraction means hiding the irrelevant data or unwanted data which we don't want to give the details to the end user. Suppose in company, if we are getting the project, we are getting the project, and we are passing the project to the programmers, but we are not giving the whole details of the project, from where we get the project and in how much deal we have just finalized the project. So that is data abstraction example. Next is data independence. Data independence means data को यूजर से independent करना. There are three levels: view level, conceptual level, and physical level. Next is Data definition and models. First, we will go through the data models. What is data models? Data models is the simple representation of complex real world data structure. Suppose if we want to build a building, first what we will do, we will build a blueprint. The designer will make the blueprint of the structure, what the designer will do, they will design the model, and then the programmer will design the code according to that, and then it will go to the end user, which will finalize whether it is okay or not. So data model will create a very important role in this. Next is relational algebra. Relational algebra, what is relational query language, and that we will see relational algebra. What is relational algebra? It is a procedural query language, and it will show the step by step process to obtain the result of the query. Next is tuple. What is tuple? Tuple is a row or record of the table. As we are creating a student table, there are rows and columns, so the row will be called as a tuple. Next is domain relational calculus. Domain relational calculus it is based on domain variable. Means it will show the column variable data. Next is SQL. SQL is a structured query language in which we will retrieve and update the data in tables and views. Next is QBE, is query by example. Next, we will go to the second unit, that is SQL. In that, we will see the data definition. SQL में DDL commands होते हैं, DDL, DML, DCL, TCL. DDL is data definition language, DML is data manipulation language, DCL is data control language, and TCL is transaction control language. So next we will see the set operations. Set operations are union, intersection, and set difference. Next is nested query. What is nested query? क्वेरी के अंदर क्वेरी मीन्स कि नेस्टेड क्वेरी में क्या होता है, क्वेरी के अंदर क्वेरी सबसे पहले फर्स्ट द इनर क्वेरी विल एग्जीक्यूट एंड देन आउटर क्वेरी विल एग्जीक्यूट. देन इज एग्रीगेशन or we'll say aggregate function. जब हमें when we have to find the maximum value, minimum value, average, count, then we are using the aggregate functions. Next is null values. What is null values? A field with a null values is a field which have no values. सपोज टेबल क्रिएट किया गया है एंड हमने सपोज स्टूडेंट आईडी डाला. स्टूडेंट आईडी, अगर स्टूडेंट का टेबल बनाया, स्टूडेंट आईडी डाला, स्टूडेंट का नेम डाला, स्टूडेंट का फोन नंबर डाला, हमने ऐसे 5 रोज एंड 5 कॉलम्स बना दिए. उसमें हमने एक स्टूडेंट का हमने आईडी नहीं डाला, तो उसमें क्या होगा, नल वैल्यू, मतलब उसकी वैल्यू 0 है. देन देयर इज अ जॉइन एक्सप्रेशन or join, we were using to combine the 2 or more tables. Next is view is a virtual table based on the result set of an SQL statement. And next is concept of PLSQL. PLSQL is an extension of SQL, procedural language. It is an extension of structured query language. Next is trigger. What is trigger? Trigger is a special type of stored procedure that automatically runs when an event occurs in the database server. Next is assertions. Assertions means we can use assertion when we know the particular condition is always true. Next, we will go through the unit 3rd, database design. In that, we are going to see the ER model. ER model is an entity relationship model. It is a high-level data model. This model is used to define the data elements and relationship for a specified system. Suppose we design a school database. There is a student. Student is an entity, and name, student name, address, ID, phone number are the attributes. Entity will be represented by rectangular by rectangle, and the attributes are represented by ellipse. Next is next we will discuss about the and there is a ER model is subdivided into entity, attributes, and relation. At the entity, there is a weak entity. Weak entity is represented by double rectangle, and then we will go through attribute. There is a key, composite attribute, multi-valued attribute, and derived attribute. Key is always be unique. There will be a primary key, and it is represented by represented by ellipse with text underlined. And then there is a composite attribute. It is composed of many other attributes. Means for example, name is when we take an example of name, there is a first name, middle name, and last name. Next is multi-level. Multi-level attribute can have more than one values. Suppose for an example, a student have more than one phone number, and it is divided by the double oval shape. Next is there is an example of for the derived attribute. For the derived attribute, we will take the example of date of birth. From date of birth, we will find the age, and it is represented by dashed ellipse. Next, there is a relationship. It is used to describe the relation between the two entities, and it is represented by diamond. Suppose for an example, teacher and there is a relationship between teacher and student is teach. Teacher teach a student. So teach is a relationship between both of them. So it is represented by diamond shape. Next, we will see about functional dependency. What is functional dependency? Functional dependency is a relationship that exists between two attributes. It typically exists between primary key and non-key attribute within a table. There are two types of functional dependency: trivial functional dependency and non-trivial functional dependency. Next, normalization. What is normalization? Normalization is the process of minimizing the redundancy in the database. And there are four types of normal forms: first normal form, second normal form, third normal form, and BCNF, that is bi-score normal form. Next we will go to the fourth unit. In that, there is a query processing and optimization. What is query processing? Whatever we are asking question, suppose we are asking the question, that is our query. So like that in database management system is also that whatever the question we are asking to the database, that is query processing. And optimization means optimization key whatever the work is done in background in the database management system, and how we will optimize the database system, that is optimization. Next is join strategies. Join strategies, when we have to join two or more tables, a join is used. There are four types of join: left join, right join, inner join, and full outer join. Next, we will discuss to B trees. B trees is also called as dynamic multi-level index. Dynamic multi-level index, and there is a secondary memory. There are number of records is in secondary memory, and then we will go to the index, and there is a key value, and then next is pointer. What key value will do? If suppose for an example, if we have to find the details of a particular student, so by his roll number or registration number, we will find the student details. See, and then what pointer will do? Pointer will do that it will check कि index का size ज़्यादा बड़ा नहीं होना चाहिए, तो that work will be done by the pointer. एंड इफ अगर बहुत ज्यादा हो गया तो फिर वो इंडेक्स जो है वो नेक्स्ट मल्टी लेवल में डिवाइड हो जाते हैं. सपोज इंडेक्स 1, इंडेक्स 2, इंडेक्स 3. सो तो देयर इज अ डिफिकल्टी टू इंसर्ट एंड डिलीट द एलिमेंट. सो टू रिमूव दिस वी आर यूजिंग द बी ट्री फॉर मल्टी लेवल इंडेक्सिंग using tree structure. Next is hashing. What is hashing? Hashing is to store and retrieving data in order of one time. Next is transaction process recovery and concurrency control. Transaction means set of operations used to perform a logical unit of work. Suppose ATM machine, if one person has gone to the ATM machine to withdraw the money, whenever he will complete his execution, then and after another person will withdraw the money. And to control, and if they are doing the same thing one by one, so there we have to use the concurrency control. So to what is concurrency? Executing multiple transactions at a time is concurrency. And why we have to require concurrency in the database? If one person is withdraw money, after its completion only another person will process. So concurrency control is very important. Next is next we will go through the unit 5. It is advanced topics, object oriented and object relational database. Object oriented is a database that represents information in the form of object as used in object oriented programming. Next is object relational database is a database that depends on the relational model and object oriented database model. Next is logical database. It contains the definition of the database of the data which is stored in the database. It also contains the rules and the attributes about the structure and the type of data. Next is web database. Web database is a database which is managed and access over the internet. Here information can be accessed via website. It is used to store web application data for e-commerce, blogs, business and other online applications. Next is distributed database. What is distributed database? Distributed database is a collection of logically interrelated data which is physically dispersed over computer network. Next is data warehousing and data mining. Data warehousing, we will go through the data warehousing. First we will know what is data. Data is a collection of raw facts and figures in a particular format. And what is information? It is a processed data. And then what is database? It is a collection of different kind of data in a particular format. Next, what is data warehouse? It is a collection of different kind of databases in a particular format. And what is data mining? It is the extraction of data. These are the textbooks for the database management system and the reference books. And here are the course outcomes that on completion of the course, the students will be able to, in CO1, the students will be able to explain the basic concepts of database management system and the database architecture and the concepts of relational algebra. In CO2, students will be able to explain the functional dependencies and they were able to apply the concepts of normalization and they are able to construct the ER diagrams. In CO3, students will be able to compare various indexing techniques and they are going to know the concepts of PL/SQL programming. In CO4, students are able to select the query optimization techniques and they will able to know how to evaluate the performance of query and transaction processing. In CO5, they are able to define the concepts of advanced database techniques. Thank you.